Hey, welcome Tuesday Team Training. Amber Smithson here. And we're so excited. Just a few announcements before we get to our convention takeaways. Tonight we have our Transformational Boot Camp webinar that we're so excited for this, you guys. It's going to be an hour-long webinar, and we're going to be talking about different mindset concepts like creating new neural pathways and how to do that. We're going to be talking about growth versus fixed mindset. We're going to be really reinforcing the 4 components and also having a light touch of the 5th component of paying it forward. So this is going to be a really great opportunity for you to invite all of your clients so that they can be more integrated into the community, so they can start working on that healthy mindset, which we all know is the biggest factor for long-term success with their health. And also invite potentials. This is going to be a really great opportunity for people to get a little taste of our community and what it's about. It's going to be in this Zoom room that we have our Tuesday team training, and they can get registered. If they register, then I'm going to be sending out reminders to hop on and send that link, and also the playback afterwards. So if you have someone who says, oh my goodness, I'd love to get on that, but oh darn it, Billy has a soccer game, then you say, that's fantastic, go ahead and get registered so that you get the playback. So really helping people to kind of be committed at a higher level to their mindset work, and not accepting those excuses, because we know that this is in their best interest to work on this. Do we have any other announcements, Jared? Oh, can you talk a little bit about the upcoming transformational event in November?
Oh yeah, November 6th, 7th, 8th in Phoenix, Arizona. In order to qualify for that, you need to be a blended ED. That's it, blended ED, not difficult. Especially, so you have to be blended ED 2 months or your first month in September? Yeah, September. I'm counting where we're at in the year right now. So 2 months if you're currently an executive director or right there, you have to hit 2 months. But if you become a coach in September, you have to be a blended ED first time in September. So, so don't hold off just because you're a senior coach right now. Don't hold off until September to grow your business. That's just foolishness, because you could be making $2,000 a month plus as an executive director over the next few months by putting in the work now. But putting in the work now will ensure that within 90 days you're at that blended ED goal. The only other announcement for me is, we don't announce this very often, but a lot of the coaches on our team know about it. Some key coaches don't. Some of you are brand new, so you definitely don't. But every Monday night, the company has a corporate leadership call, and that is followed up by Leadership 1 and Optavia 1 leadership training in a different Zoom room, so it's all field-led. At 6 p.m. Mountain Time is the company leadership call. Dr. A, and this is, it's important to get on these calls. Every month they have the new integrated presidential directors speak. They share their insights and their journeys and their stories and stuff. And I think that one of the most important parts of this business is that we celebrate each other and that we learn from the people who are doing the do. And that's an opportunity every single month to be hearing from people, just like we did at convention over the weekend, hearing from these top leaders who have done the work, and they can share with you their mindsets, the work, the tips for building your business. And most weeks, Amber and I are listening to it while we're preparing dinner or something like that, unless we've been asked to lead a portion of that call, which is fairly frequently. So, And then the half an hour after, they get into nuts and bolts. Last night, they talked about how to implement the new transformational system, Habits of Health, into your coaching. How to share it with your current coaches, how to make it a reality for your new clients. So, yep, Amber shared that in all the groups. Sometimes it's hard to get into the room for that second call, but we live stream that to all of the coaching groups. So it's easiest just to hop in your respective coaching groups and just watch the live there. Anything else, Amber?
Someone asked in the chat, what is a blended ED? Yes.
Great question. Sometimes we jump over those things. So a blended executive director is a combination of personal clients and helping new coaches reach the level of senior coach. So an executive director is 5 points. You get points in 2 different ways. One way to get a point is to have $1,200 in frontline volume. So that's volume from your personal clients' orders. So every $1,200 is 1 point. So if you had 2,400, that's 2 points. For each senior coach that is direct to you, or you might have a coach that's not a senior coach themselves, but they have a coach that's a senior coach. That counts towards a senior coach leg. So you have to have separate senior coach legs. So if you have a senior coach with a senior coach, that only counts as 1 for you. Okay? Is that clear as mud?
Just work with your business coach.
Yeah, work with your business coach. So each senior coach that you have is also 1 point. So just like you could have a 4 and 1, a 3 and 2, a 2 and 3, a 1 and 4, right? So you could have 1 point from frontline volume and 4 senior coaches, and that's 5 points to be a blended executive director, or any combination of those. So get with your business coach, help them have them help you understand that, and just go to work. It's about becoming a senior coach yourself first, if you're not already, helping more people personally, and then helping those people transition to coaches and helping their friends, and just helping them start by helping 5 people. Our business is entirely built off of groups of 5. 5 clients, 5 coaches, makes many hands make work light. Okay, anything else, Amber? Okay, so this is always one of people's favorites of the year. We're doing convention takeaways. So if you weren't at convention, get your notebooks out. You're about to get fire hosed, and I promise you that it's not all going to sink in because you don't have the context. So my first recommendation is that everybody here get registered for next year's convention. We're going to have between 20 and 25,000 in the State Farm Arena, all in one track. It's going to be amazing. The arena is phenomenal, and they're going to have so much cool technology there that they're using to make it big. Currently, there's already about 4,000 registered. Amber and I were talking about it. Our goal, we had about 350 from our organization there over the weekend. Our goal for next year is 1,000 coaches at convention. So Dr. Anderson asked all of us to bring 1 person with us next year. I know that the simple math, law of large numbers, I know that Amber and I are going to have to probably bring 20 or 30 new people, because there are going to be a bunch of people who are there this weekend who don't bring anybody with them again next year. Just like Amber always says, in when we do like a 6-week, or we just got done with Summer Committed. First day, she's like, you know what? A third of you aren't going to be here at the end. I'm going to throw the same challenge down to you guys, that don't be the person who doesn't bring anybody with you next year, or doesn't bring anybody new with you next year. And I'll start off with this before I just open it up and let you guys run with all your takeaways. Jan Paxman talked about what Optavia is, right? And Optavia is an invitation for people to become the best version of themselves. Why would you not invite everybody you know to a convention that is going to allow them to become the best version of themselves, and see that we are way more than just the before and after pictures that they see on social media? So along with that, Becca Tinter asked the question in her stage presentation, are you changing your DNA? Are you changing who you are and how you function? If you don't know what that means, or you don't know how to go about that, what we are is an incredible community that we're helping each other develop, and we're helping each other progress. So get with your mentorship team, get with your business coach, and make that plan. Our weeks are full right now with people who are excited and want to run. So make sure that you're fitting into your business coach's schedule to make sure that you also have a plan for what you're going to do for the next 90 days, next 6 months, next year. Okay, we're going to throw it over to you guys, and just try to be pleasant and accommodating to each other as you're taking yourselves off mute. Take it away.
I'm going to go first. So I really liked all of the people that had ranked up, as they would kind of just they would have them kind of come in between trainings, like in between different people speaking and stuff. And one of the common themes that I felt like kind of ran through all of their stories was that they all had really hard times and really challenging things come up in their lives, and they still chose to push forward and make it happen. Chantel, her husband Tyler, told the story about her being pregnant, and that she had the puke bowl next to her computer desk, so she would just stick her face out of the Zoom, throw up, and then keep going. And then there was another lady, a really cool lady, her husband, that spoke, and she talked about crying on the bathroom floor when things got hard. Then there was another lady, I can't even like that. Everyone's story had this theme running through it, and it really stuck out to me because I thought, I have a really crazy schedule, right? I'm a mom. I have 5 boys. My husband works, and I run this business, and blah 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 blah, excuses. And sometimes I allow those things to be my excuses when I'm tired to not get it done. Not just get it done. So hearing everyone's stories up there, I was like, it's not like these people had this like super smooth ride to get to where they are. They had challenges. They just chose to keep going. So that was my takeaway. Speaking of boys,
I have to talk real quick, because this is exactly what my takeaway was. It's so funny, you guys, getting back from convention, and I have totally felt this way before, and I've learned to expect it. The jacuzzi is real nice, isn't it? Like, it is so fun being there at convention when you're just like seeing people up on stage or talking to people, and you're like, I'm going to be presidential next year, like, or whatever. I've totally been there. And even this year, I just had these big goals, and you come home, and then all of a sudden your kids are screaming and you can't even think straight, right? And it's like, all of a sudden we start forgetting all the things that we know we want. And it's just so funny how we set ourselves up for that, and how we think that it's like not going to get hard. And to Crystal's point, like, you guys, like, that's exactly it right there. Like, we need to expect that all to happen. And to keep that same level of excitement is a skill that you develop. You can be just that as excited and just that as passionate and driven, even when the kids are screaming. Even, like, you find times when the kids aren't screaming, but like creating a life that works for you. And so I just want to put emphasis on that. Like, just the whole, like, the jacuzzi life isn't where we're supposed to be the whole time. We're supposed to get out of the jacuzzi life and actually get to work. I love what Becca said in her last thing. She said, what future is so compelling that you are prepared to transform how you operate to achieve it? Because if we're the problem, but we're also the solution. It's not everything else around us. We're the actual one that can make it happen if we want to make it happen. So just had to say that.
I want to piggyback off that, because I think the way that we keep, like, at least that I'm thinking for me, the way that I keep that momentum and that passion is by remembering my why. So have been struggling with my why for like the last few months, and I finally felt like I figured it out. And now, like, I want to run with that. I want to, like, get detailed about that. I want to write it down. I want to look at it every single day so that I don't lose that passion. And they talked about that. They talked about remembering our why every day. And something else I loved Corey Baker. He spoke about lots of stuff, but something he talked about was helping more people, or helping find more people that are willing to sit on the fence. And, like, I've heard this before, but it just really hit me. And that, like, we can't force them to get off the fence. We can't force people to sign up to be coaches. We can't force people to be clients, but we can share with more people so that we fill the fence up, so that when people start jumping off that fence, they're seeing each other jump off the fence and they're going like, okay, I want to jump off that fence too. So it's not about, like, signing up more coaches and clients. It's about sharing more, having more people on the fence so that more people are jumping off and eventually, like, joining us. And that, I don't know, that just hit me. I'm like, okay, it's not about the end result. It's about the journey, and it's about just sharing. And the more people I share with coaching and becoming a client, the more that my business is going to grow. And then it, like, takes that pressure off of it too, of, like, wanting people to sign up and stuff. It's just like, you're just sharing the goodness of what we have, the gift that we have to give, which really is a gift.
Love that, Kelby. What happened to me is just a few weeks ago, I've had a lot of points in my business where I pushed really hard, but what I wanted to have happen didn't happen. And so then I've gone through, like, big dreaming, and then big dreaming, and then lately it's just stayed small, because it's just like, oh, it's not working. And so I remember just standing outside of our rig and just thinking, I'll just live a simple life. Like, I'll just, I'll just enjoy the people in my life and just take it easy. That sounds nice. And so I went to convention. Meg Valentine spoke, and she woke me up. Like, this, I understand what it means to wake up even better now, is because she just encouraged us, you guys, dream bigger. Can you see yourself? Do you have any faith and belief in yourself that you can make an impact? And so, and I tried to envision that self, because she said, how specific are you? Can you see it, feel it, taste it? I was like, wow, no, I thought I could, but I can't anymore. And so I forced myself to envision myself in front of a massive amount of people and helping and guiding them, and who the person I was going to become. She said, pretend you're IPD Kirtley. What would IPD Kirtley do? And you can do that to yourself. What would IPD Tammy do? Kelby, Shelby, And so that was just a really cool moment in my life. Is even, like, I would much rather live a life of working hard than a life of comfort. And just, like, I'd much rather try than not, because I have been given so much. I don't want to just take from the earth. I want to give back. And so that's what I'm doing now, is just live my life. So it's a lot of hard work and a lot of giving. And I know I'll be proud of myself at the end of my life. So
for us, it really was exploring the company even further. I mean, Jen and I have only been coaching a couple of months, and really just wanted to see, okay, is this really something that we want to share even more? I mean, we have got a couple clients, but for us, it was really just kind of getting involved and seeing the mission and understanding the purpose that this company is pushing for. And so we came away from that absolutely on fire and love everything that we heard and that we listened to. And then we came back to our normal day jobs. And both yesterday, which was day one for us coming back, we both got home last night and said we were around such positive and amazing and full of energy people that 4 days, and we come home to crap and to negativity in our workplace. And we're like, why are we doing this? Why are we not pushing something else? And so to us, and we've been talking and contemplating this entire weekend of, are we doing this? Is this really what we want? Are we really going to push this? And then we've been thinking about how we're going to go about doing that. And so to have that reset last night, to come back to real life, really just gave us that positive reinforcement to jump on this bandwagon even further and keep on going with it. And we love the mission and what it stands for, what it's done for our lives, and what we're now seeing it do for others, and love that. So
I want to just hop off that. And so one of the things that stood out to me, I think it was Terry Miller, who said to stop playing small. It's selfish when you do. And that just kind of hit me like, yeah, it is. And she asked this question. She said, what is at stake if you don't allow yourself to shine bright? And I loved how she said that, like, to shine bright, like to be that light to those people around you. And this is it was my third convention, and each time I've come away with the reminder that when we put our focus on helping others, it helps our fears diminish. And it helps us not fears go away, but we can move them over to the side and say, there you are, fear. But I'm going to do these things that scare me, but because my focus is on helping others, whether that be with their health or starting their own business or, whatever it is they want to create. If I can put that fear aside and just move forward and shine bright to be able to help more people. So that was kind of one of my, another layer of that has happened each convention that I go to.
I loved it when when Kelby was talking, I'm on the same line with Kelby, where Corey Baker, he was talking about abundant mindset, and that's been really huge for me in my personal growth. When he said, get focused on your why, because someone else's why is not your why. And when you're listening to other people and their whys and you think, oh yeah, that's what I want, or and you start to go a different direction, that may be what's holding you up from reaching your goals, is because you're thinking somebody else's why is yours. So he's like, get focused on your goal and have tunnel vision with it, and you're gonna crush your goals. And one other quick thing is, it just reaffirms me every time that our community is so like-minded. And just everything everybody's saying today, I'm like, yes, I wrote that down. Yes, I had everything. And I feel like we all just have that same passion, and just, it was just so incredible to be
I think we lost her. Who else has the takeaway while we wait for Jackie to come back?
I wanted to comment real fast, if that's all right. Can you hear me?
Go for it, Blaine.
Okay, so a thing I really liked was from Dan Bell's talk. I think it was in the opening remarks, but he talked about how everybody's journey is different to get to the top. He made an analogy of climbing several different peaks in Colorado, and how it was very interesting how it didn't matter. Some people may make IPD in 2 years, some may make it, they get there in 12 years. But the thing that he said is the view from the top's the same from everybody, and there's room for everybody at the top. And so I thought that was awesome. Just the people that make it there are the ones with grit and determination, and those that don't give up. So I thought that was pretty great.
I have something to share real quick.
Go for it, Treasure.
Okay, I didn't know if you could hear me. I'm actually not home yet. I'm just left the airport from our trip to Orlando. So, but just, I think adding it on to what everybody else said, I love everyone's takeaways, but one thing that hit me, I was really exploring a lot too when I was there. I felt it's my first convention. I haven't been coaching that long, so I fell in love with the program when I started reading Dr. A's book, and the mental health portion for me, like the mindset. Sorry, I like sitting on the back row, so I don't like talking out front. But the mental health portion and the healthy mindset, I see that so much right now, and the need for that. And I'm a nurse. I take care of old people that are sick with all the diseases that that are preventable. And so, like, the health portion connects me, but knowing that mental health piece is there. So just being able to listen to Dr. A. I stayed for the Unplugged on Sunday, and being able to just see him in person and see the messages that he had and his mission. And at the very end, he said something. He said, thank you. And he got really emotional, and he just said, sorry, thank you for helping one doctor's mission, and thank you for helping one doctor's dream come true, or something to that effect. And that same message of don't be so small, don't live small, it's selfish. That connected with that. I've done good things. My work that I do now is good and important, and it helps people. So I didn't feel like I was missing that portion, but it's small and this is big. And being there with a bunch of other people who have that same goal of helping the world in this way, it is, to me, like seeing that big picture of how important it is and how many people we can help when we all link arms together was huge.
Going along with what Treasure was saying, something that really stood out to me, this was my first convention as well, and I loved how I think it was Chantel that said, you don't build a business, you build people. Help them find the answers, because the answers are always within them. And that really stood out to me, because so often I get so caught up on somebody else said something about we don't build a business, we build people. And when I put it in that aspect, it helped me really connect with the mission that I'm not trying to build just a business. I am looking for, right now, I might only have 3 clients, and I'm looking for number 4. And then I'm going to look for number 5. And then I'm going to look for number 6. And it's not about reaching a rank. It's not about reaching to be a certain pay or anything like that. It's about reaching those people. It's just, who's the next one? Who else can I throw back into the ocean when they're stranded on the shore?
That's one thing that I noticed too, or one thing that really stood out to me too, was just the One Starfish Matters. I think a lot of people were touched by that, right? That One Starfish Matters was huge. And then the other thing that I loved was, I don't remember who it was that said it, but he said, or she said, get hot enough to create steam and then boil. I think for so many of us, we just need to decide to go all in and get hot enough to where we boil, right? Instead of just kind of sitting at the simmer mode all the time.
Hey, I learned from Dr. A, and his quote is, there is no such thing as maintenance, there's only improvement or decline. And I'm like, I'm so going to put that in my assessment. I'm going to ask that question on purpose, because I want my clients to understand and my potentials from the get-go, how important it is. That's how I've done my best to live my life. Like, I'm not, as coaches, we're not perfect at everything we do, right? And I think on the outside, sometimes people think we need to be perfect. And no, I had, what was that thing we had? That chocolate, I don't even know what it's called. Anyway, we had some chocolate at convention and it was great. But here's the thing. I was very intentional about that. I didn't gorge myself. I didn't gain any weight on this trip. You know, we worked really hard. And then I also really enjoyed integrity. Jan Paxman talked about how you can dream all day, and if you don't take action, it's a wish. So it's super important for us to really get into that and have that grit. Get it? Grit, grit is in there. And I was like, oh, that is so good. So just simply wrote down integrity. I love that, how our business has that integrity, or as part of the hot six.
I gotta.
Hey, I'm going to jump in here if I can. What I got out of this was Jamal, when he was talking about the powerful connections. And a few of the takeaways that I got from there was, and I'm guilty of this a lot because I tend to talk more than listen. And he says, be more interested in people than interesting. I think a lot of us we all like to share our story and be let everybody know about us, but we need to be more intentional and be more interested in people. And he's told some stories about some ladies that he met that it absolutely changed their life because he listened to them and their story. And another thing he said was, each day, start your day with saying, someone's life is going to change today because of me. And then the other thing that I got was that we need to look each day to who we can serve, who's out there that we can change their life and serve. So for me, that's a big one, and I love that from Jamal.
If I can hop in here, one thing that I really enjoyed, so many things, but just this little statement of losing is temporary, giving up is permanent. And I just think that's so much what we have to go through with our health journey and also with coaching. We're all going to go through losses, experience failures, but that doesn't mean we have to give up. And so often, just because we experience a failure, we give up. But it's really whether we give up that determines whether we'll ultimately succeed.
It's ironic that today happens to be our 1 year mark as being coaches for Optavia. And I gotta be honest, I can't believe the things that we've learned as a couple, as a family, and our individual status, in the sense of Trisha by herself and me. And one thing that jumped out to me there is just the hard work factor of everything. Dan Bell said, don't wish for things to be easier, wish to be better. And that really hit home to me. And another thing that hit home was, everything that everybody said has hit home. I've got notes after notes after notes, but the other one that made me think, and actually what's crazy, is I was listening to a podcast last night. We got home at about 4:30 this morning, and I was listening to a podcast with Ed Milet, and the guy on there actually quoted the African proverb, if you want to go fast, go alone, but if you want to go far, go together. And that is the one thing that my wife and I have learned through this program. We went fast. We hit the ground hard, and we were doing this and doing that. And then we finally got, our mentors wrapped their arms around us and said, hey, look, you need to do this a different way. And now that we're starting to go together and utilize our mentors and link arms with people, it's made a world difference in our business. And the bottom line is, it's a lot of work. Yeah, I've taken health assessments at state champion baseball games when my kids are playing, and I've done this and I've done that, but you know what? I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world.
I'll share real quick. I liked that it was pointed out that the 6 habits of transformational leadership, the first 3 are about yourself. And then 4 and 5 are about your relationship with others. And then the last one is about society, or advancing society. And I never seen that progression, but I think it's true. And I think I'm sure it's done in that order on purpose, so that we take care of ourselves, because then we can help others, and then we can further mankind. So I thought that was cool.
I have something really quick. So I'm in the club of the people that this was my first convention too, and I had a 12-and-a-half-hour drive home last night that turned into 19 hours. So I had lots of time to think about all of the incredible things that we heard. And, you know, the one thing that stuck out to me, well, lots of things stuck out to me, but the thing that I really liked was Becca Tinter's story about the Range Rover that they got for the tribe. And she was pointing out all of the different features to the Indian chief, or to the tribal chief, like here's the air conditioning, here's the heater, here's the DVD player, here's the, you know, the CD player, all this stuff that, you know, he clearly has never seen before. But the thing that she forgot to point out was that the purpose of the car was to transport the people in the tribe so that they wouldn't have to walk so far all the time. And I think sometimes, you know, for me, especially in my day job, my work that I came back to today, I forget that people are individual sometimes. I sometimes get these blinders on with their diagnosis, and I think about that instead of thinking about, you know, yes, these 10 people are diabetics, or these 10 people have heart disease, or these 10 people have hypertension or whatever. But the piece that's going to help them get past that is different for every single person. And so remembering that, you know, like people are saying, we're not building businesses, we're building people. We all have the same tool that we can use to help build these people, but the piece of that tool that each individual person is going to need is different. And so that was,
I love all these. It blew me away how amazing convention is every single year for me. And this year, Jamil blew my head off. And we already kind of talked about him, but like, bigger takeaway is you want to become the person who feels deeply connected with others. And I think there's such power in that, and the mission of life. And so that was one of the great takeaways that I love.
Who else? We're slowing down.
I'll go.
Okay. Go for it, Nancy.
Okay, my absolute favorite talk was Megan Valentine. She just lit me on fire. She was just so passionate about what she was saying. You know, she says, she wrote her talk like, this is, you know, what would you say if this is the last time you were going to talk to people? What would you share with them? And it's just powerful. So I got a few things out of that talk. Is like, if you need people, you can't lead them, because then it becomes about that. It's not about them. It's about you. And think about, oh, trying to rank up. I need one more person. I need more. You know, people can tell when it's about you and not about them. Always have to focus on them. And that rank and rewards are really cool, but that's not why we do this. Having the ability and discipline to do it when you don't want to do it, and you can't lead others in areas you are not doing yourself. So I thought that was powerful. I thought, oh, what am I trying to tell people that I'm not doing myself? And to connect with your mentorship at the beginning of the month. Don't wait till the end of the month to connect with your coaches. And what can we do to scramble all of a sudden? So let's see. Don't coach just the feelings. How passionate would you be if our whole program was just the feelings? That was a big one for me. The breakthrough happens in you before it happens in your business. That was, yeah. So it says, learn so much that you overflow to others. And it comes from within you, people will follow you.
Real quick.
So everybody that talked, I felt like there was a theme this convention, and it was crazy. But for me, I got decide, consistency, structure. Decide to do it, be consistent, stay within the structure, and your business will grow. And it's just been amazing to watch, because we've talked about it with a lot of coaches that went. Decide. And that's been something that literally, you guys, for years, I'm like, decide. I've already decided. I'm doing the thing. I'm not doing anything else. Da, 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 da. But I think, no, I'm not going to say I think. This year it really hit me. And that switch in my mind has shifted to where I'm like, okay, it's time to do this thing at another level. Decide to do it. Decide to make it happen for each of you. Whatever that looks like for you, just decide. Then be consistent, stay within structure, and your business will grow. I love that.
I think for me, one thing that I noticed stood out to me is stop playing small. Sorry, my camera's upside down. I like sitting upside down. But no, stop playing small. I mean, when we're holding back, the only people that we're hurting are those that are close to us. You know, like for me, my wife, my kids, and people around us, especially our kids. I think our kids are the ones that have that effect to them more than anybody when we're holding back. So my goal is to stop playing small. Like you said, John, decide. You know, get up off the seat and do it. So really excited to get things rolling and have, you know, my wife that I'm able to do this with and rock and roll. So super excited.
I got something really quick. One thing that I noticed a lot with, and Doug Wood, he shared this, is that our journey's never going to be over. Our journey is health. I really love that statement by him, just because we are on this journey called health. It never ends. And as coaches, it helps us and reminds us to help share that with our clients, that we need to express that to our future clients, that we're in this transformation business. And I like what Dr. A said on Sunday during Dr. A's Unplugged, is that we're not in the weight loss industry. I think he said, like, we're in the transformation industry or something along those lines. And so being my first convention, I took so much away from this. And I'm super excited to get rocking and rolling and growing our business, because it's been truly helpful. And I know that we're here to change the world.
I want to share one really quick also. I think it was Jan that talked about how we are the only species that limit ourselves. Other species don't choose to hold themselves back. And so just really recognizing that we're unlimited. So if we stop holding ourselves back and just reach to our full potential, that's when we're really going to see that progress. And also Leslie Begin, I loved hers, just about how we need to make it more fun and cheer each other on. This was in a breakout session for EDs and above, but she gave an example of water skiing, her girls learning how to water ski, and how they were just cheering them on so much, and it was so fun. And sometimes we forget, we stick with the transactional steps of coaching and training people, but we need to really focus on making it fun and cheering them on, because everyone likes a party. Everyone wants to be part of the party. So I'm going to be more focused on, you know, celebrating the wins along the way.
Jump in. I think so often we go somewhere hoping to gain things, and I think this was the first time in 5 conventions that I left going, what do I need to get rid of? What do I need to let go of? And it was life-changing for me, because I think we tell ourselves stories all the time, and we just need to let those stories go. We need to let the fear go. We need to let our opinions of ourselves go, especially if they're crappy, you know? But what is it that you need to let go of to move forward in your life? And I came home thinking, I am going to get rid of everything in my life that doesn't support my dreams. And sometimes, you guys, volleyball supports my dreams. Like, I can still do fun things, but it's not that we have to work all the time. It's what do we need to let go of so that we can fly? We're like a balloon holding ourselves down, this hot air balloon or something, and there's this string, this stupid little string that we just cut it and then we fly.
I've got something. It's working. So, Amber I think it was Amber that talked about being a recovering perfectionist. That was big for me because I used to think everything had to be 100% perfect. And then someone else was talking about quitting, and then that quote came up on the screen: if you're going to be perfect at anything, be perfect at not quitting. So, that was my big why, is, to not quit on myself. That's always been my why, to not quit. So now I'm learning to fall in love with the process. So it's not even about, getting a new client or building to the new rank. It's literally, I'm in love with the process. And when I think back to when I'm the most energized and the most, in love with my life, it's when I'm doing the work and I'm just doing the process. So it's the day-to-day tasks that actually are exciting to me.
I wanted to say something too. I love Mr. Little Jamal. He was so cute, number one. But he came out and he really talked about really, really, really get them. And I'm like, I love that. And he says, people don't care how much you know till they know how much you care. And for me, sometimes I feel like I need to know things. Like I just need to know more. I need to know more. And when he said that, it just made me feel, inside I felt like a release of just, oh, okay. And that I can start to serve them in first and then receive later. And so I really think he just touched my heart, and I love just his compassion for people, and that he didn't start out like that. And I think sometimes we talk too much, and I know I talk too much, and the silence sometimes scares me. So I've really learned from this experience that I just need to shut up a little bit more.
I loved when they talked about Tiffany, I don't know her last name, said 95% of your effectiveness is your mindset and only 5% is skill. So if you have the mindset of anything, she used the example of sponsoring, you'll develop the skill set. So I thought that was, really cool. She, defined mindset's a set of beliefs that drives you to do the right actions. How mindset plus the skill set plus the action gives us the results that we want. And anyway, I love that. They gave the example before convention that two people could have the same exact experience. And one person can say, it was awesome. And another person could say, it was the worst. And it's all like the only thing different was how they looked at it, their mindset. So it's so important to work on that. Because the skill set will follow. So I really love that.
I want to jump in really quick if I can. I loved when they talked about even if we just improve 1% every day, that by the end of the year, if you've done that every single day and commit to that you're 365% further than when you started. And I love that we don't have to be perfect, but we can still work hard and just move ourselves forward, even if it's just 1% every day.
I like Terry Miller's invitation to put our heart back into it. And she said, if I was just selling meal replacements, I would have quit long ago. There is no way I would be doing this business if all I was doing is selling food. And I had to rethink that and remind myself again of the quote where they said, we are just inviting people to be a better version of themselves. Because in my mind, since I joined Optavia, the only thing that's happened is that I've become a better version of myself. And sometimes I get caught up in the selling of the food or not wanting to introduce the food because that's not the way that I lost weight. But it's not about the food at all. That's only establishing a habit. And that's made me feel extremely selfish that I just keep the better version of myself to myself. And that's not okay. And I think for me, that just woke me up saying, Renee, you are playing small. You need to get out there and invite people to the mindset to be a better version, because it truly is not all about the food. And I wouldn't be doing this if I was just selling food either.
I'm not sure if this has already been shared. I'm coming into this a little bit late, but Dan Bell, when he was talking about his experience in summiting the mountains that he has, that was really powerful for me. To the quote where it was mentioned, when you reach a peak, it gives you a peak at another peak. And that vision, I know, has been something that's helped me, is like was mentioned, being the better version of ourselves. When you come to a new place today than you were yesterday, realizing that you can offer that to someone else too, that they also can make those steps in that direction, and that it's the baby steps. And rather than being overwhelmed by the whole big picture and trying to be perfect all at once, learning how to break it down. And it's not just breaking it down with what we're eating every day, but it's with our thoughts and with our actions, and becoming better. And I don't have a complete list, but everything he listed at the end, that when we reach those summits, that, he said if you had asked him several years ago if he would have ever climbed even one of those mountains, he would have told you that you were crazy. But now he's climbed 24 of, I can't remember if there were 58 total that are those 14,000. I'm not sharing that right. But anyway, he just realizing we can be in a new place, and looking around and saying, well, I'm here now what's possible next, and learning to move forward. That really caught my attention.
If I can jump in real quick, I wanted to share that although I'm new to Optivia, I am not new to the idea of coaching. And one of the things I see, and I kind of wish we could see it better, is this idea that we sometimes want this golden client or this golden coach, somebody who is already ready to say yes and reach out their arms to embrace us, and that puts us in the role of hero. Wanting someone to be perfectly ready is about wanting them to be a victim and you're their hero, and that's not what we want. People are going to come at all different stages, and we need to be ready to meet them where they're at. And that means if they don't want to talk to you, I've been thinking a lot about from Matt and I. So Matt and I have no desire to coach in our hearts, that if you just asked us to be coaches. But if you asked us to help people, we have a great desire to help. And I think that finding my why was really important, and I was able to do that at convention. And my why is the same as my why has been my whole life, and that is I want to help and love people. And if you don't want to start the program because you are not there, I can help and love you. And I was teasing Matt because we were driving and he wanted to yell at somebody. Sorry, Matt, ratted you out. But I said, we're just going to give them love and grace, like Corey Baker says. And then Amber Justino, I said, you're welcome. But I think that we need to realize that if we're willing to just help people and believe everybody is a client and everybody is a coach, and figure out what do I need to do to help them, we start to become resources instead of obstacles, because we are often not only our obstacle, but we are their obstacle, because we require them to be something they may not already be.
I think I just wanted to say something real quick. I think one of the things I got the most, I commented in the chat, but one of the things that hit me most was the failure is temporary, but quitting is permanent. I think all of us have been in that spot where, oh, I didn't make that goal or whatever, and so we're just like, fine, whatever, I'm done. But if we just realize that that's just a temporary failure, that we can move forward and reach higher goals than that.
Hi guys, if I could jump in.
it's, oh wait, I better do this.
You're good, Kathy.
Am I good? I never know about technology. That's one of my lacking, but we're going to get that handled. Guys, so many great comments. And as a nurse, you know, I've taught for years that we look at clients or patients as bio, psycho, social, and spiritual. And for me, the thing that really stood out this weekend was the spiritual aspect. And that does not equal religion. That does not equal whether you're Baptist or Catholic or Mormon or whatever you believe in, the plants or the sky. And that if the force or the adversary or the negative force in the world that's out there can deplete someone of their spiritual being within them, and through food addiction or through depression or through whatever all of those things are, that adversary or that dark force has won. And I mean, and so if the dark force has won, that dark force will just permeate and keep going. But what I saw this weekend was light, and 11,466 people full of light. And that's what I want to be. That's where I want to be. That's where I want to share this gift of light to the world, that you can be the best person you were made to be on this earth. That's my 2 cents.
Awesome, Kathy. Who is that?
It was me, but it's okay, Jared. I know we're running low on time.
No. Melissa's going to be the last one. Then we're going to wrap this up. We know this could go on for 3 more days. We could have a 3-day convention right here just with takeaways. So after Melissa, if you guys will, hop in and do lives in your coaching groups and your client groups and live on your Facebook wall and all these things, and share the things that you've learned and the things that have impacted you, so that you can start to create that interest and that impact in other people's lives from what you guys have learned. So Melissa?
My biggest take home was be Optavia, don't just do Optavia. And that includes us as clients, and that includes us as coaches. We need to follow our purpose and don't be attached to the outcome, because clients are not buying the program, they're buying you. And that was a huge hit in the chest, because I haven't really implemented the full Dr. A's education materials. I've always like, oh, there's a new system coming out, you know, I'll just stop where I'm at in my book and I'll wait for the new stuff to come out and I'll study it. But I saw what that has done to myself and to my clients and as me as a coach. And so that was my big take home. Like, I'm going to do those Monday night calls with Dr. A. I'm going to be doing more, because we need to do more so we can become more.
Awesome. I changed my mind. Sue's been trying to jump in a few times and she keeps getting cut off. Go for it, Sue.
Sue, you're muted.
Sue, you're muted. Unmute yourself. I couldn't do it.
So I would just say I wasn't able to go to convention. And so I was pretty excited to get on and listen to what was going on today, but I was a little late getting on. So I would love to know all the changes, all the new stuff, and not just takeaways, but what we learn as coaches, what you have to share with us for you, some to follow up on, like the new brands, the new app that's coming out, just things that would, you know, bring some excitement for me. So that's it.
Okay. There aren't many new things other than Dr. A's Habits Health Transformational System, the app. Many people have been using the beta version, which had lots of glitches, and they're fixing all those things for full release here in a couple days on August 1st, when it will be available both for iPhones and for Android. So you'll be able to go to Apple Store or Google Play to get those. If you don't already have the new Habits of Health Transformational System, get it. Don't wait. Dr. Anderson spent most of yesterday 2 hours of Unplugged talking about you don't have to be perfect. Perfectionism results in judgment. We judge ourselves. We judge other people for their failure to meet our expectations or standards, including ourselves. When we have a progressive mindset, we're just what's next, what's next, what's next. That's language that we use all the time as coaches. Oh, your next step is, and so the next step is be engaged in your life book. The purpose of the life book is to rewrite your story. If you guys will indulge me for just a few minutes, I want to share a couple of takeaways that you guys didn't have an opportunity to experience. Amber and I, as integrated presidential directors, they had an integrated presidential lounge. Literally, we walked 50 feet from the IPD lounge where we could watch on closed circuit TV the events and stuff, and we would walk to the bathroom, and it would take an hour to get to the bathroom and back. There were people stalking outside to ask you questions and to sit and basically interview you. And that's a good experience. It's a great experience for us. But we had the opportunity to sit and talk with some of those top leaders. Michelle Luft, who was recognized and honored as the new integrated presidential. I had a 45-minute conversation with her about her journey. And she's been a coach for a while. And she told me, and I said, what was it that changed? And she said, well, Corinne Potter is her integrated presidential. And she's a couple of levels, a couple of generations above Michelle. And she said, Corinne kept reaching back out to me over and over and over. And I just wasn't ready. And finally, she cornered me one time, and we just got to know each other better. And she said, what are you afraid of? And she said that she was afraid of the success. Because she knew that success was going to be successful in the goals that she said she wanted, was going to take work. It was going to take different work than she was currently doing. And she didn't want to give up all the things that made her life comfortable. Helen Irwin, we had the opportunity to go in a little bit early, and we're part of a leadership training course that Dr. A alluded to yesterday at the Unplugged, called Transformational Leadership Development Program. And she said that comfort prevents us from one of its primaries. Our primary goal in being comfortable is that it prevents us from feeling incompetent. And human beings do not like to feel incompetent. So anytime we feel like, oh, there's a chance that I'm going to feel incompetent, they're like, no, I'm just going to stay in my comfort zone. But so she said this to me. She said, I made a decision that I wasn't going to avoid certain things just because they were going to add to my workload or my discomfort. And I asked her, I'm like, tell me what that looked like for you. And she said, I intentionally avoided ranking up on a couple of different occasions, because had I ranked up, I would have qualified for another event, like Sundance. And she's like, I wasn't ready for that. I wasn't ready to invest my time in that. And I said, so what would you tell people today? And essentially she said what Richard Branson has said. He said, if someone offers you an amazing opportunity, but you are not sure you can do it, say yes. Then learn how to do it later. The cool thing about Optavia is that we get to learn in the process. It's just cross the bridges as you come to them. You don't need to know how to be an IPD, an integrated presidential director, if you're just a senior coach right now. You just have to know how to celebrate those 5 clients and how to be a guide to them. Not a hero coach, just a guide. While she was talking, she was telling me about her kids and her marriage, and I started to see the trilogy of optimal health wheel differently. Most of the time, we look at the trilogy of optimal health: healthy body, healthy mind, healthy finances, in a 2-dimensional image on a screen. And I saw that thing fall down flat like a merry-go-round with a central pinpoint balancing that thing. And Amber and I have been talking a lot about this for the last couple of days, because a lot of people come to us and say, you know what, I need more balance in my life right now. I need to spend more time with my kids. So they stop doing personal development. They stop working on their business. They stop doing all these other things. And if you look at it that way and you pour all of your time, you put a bunch of rocks on family time, are you balanced? You don't have balance. You just created more imbalance. Living a balanced life is a process of learning how to remove things that aren't important from your life in all those areas: mind, body, finances. Maybe you're like, oh, I don't need that bill anymore. I don't use that anymore. I'm just going to get rid of that. I'm going to get rid of the TV. I'm going to get rid of all these things. And there's even apps now and bank programs that you're like, oh, I haven't used this forever, but I'm still paying for it. Like Spotify or Pandora or cable or whatever. And from their banking apps, you can discontinue those services as a financial tool. But we also need to learn how to add things. If you want to add more time to your family, the answer is not working less. The answer is working strategically so that you can create more freedom for yourself, so that you can go and create the memories and stop making your reasons excuses. Michelle Luft also said this. She said, I avoided some of those events like Sundance and even Go Global for executive directors and above because it costs more money. This training that we're doing with Helen Irwin right now is for integrated nationals and above. They were privately contacted and given the opportunity to enter in at 3 different levels. Anywhere from just going through the leadership lessons to some group coaching to individual coaching. I'm paying a great deal of money over the next 6 months to become a real leader, to improve my leadership, to help me learn how to develop other leaders, not just develop followers. She said, I look for every opportunity that is presented me now to become better. Even though at the beginning of it, I'm like, oh, I don't know if it's going to be good. I don't know if it's worth it to go through the first time, or wait for a year to do it in the next go round. It just stood out to me that she said this. A couple other things that Helen Irwin talked to us about. Information is not drama. A lot of us have dramatic lives because of the information that comes into our lives. Information is not drama. Only you can make information dramatic. So learning how to slow down and control your thoughts so that you can control your emotions, so that you can control the quality of your life. Things happen when we decide, not when we like something. Make a quality decision that you are going to become something, reach up to your business coach and your mentorship team to see what that path is, and have people in your corner that are helping you every single day. When you are improving, you are your results. Your results are a direct reflection of your growth patterns. She talked about the progression of mastery. Harvard has done extensive research about what it takes to master skills and master leadership. And they said that the learning curve, just the learning curve to get on a trajectory to where you're really, really, really progressing, learning curve is 4 years. A month and a half ago when we started this TLDP program, she told us that it was going to be 6 months. It was going to be 12 lessons, actually 15. She did 3 warm-up lessons, 12 official lessons, and 2 of those are live events. And she said, could we pack it into 12 weeks? Absolutely, we could. But we're not going to do that because real change takes time. So invest yourself and commit to the time that it takes to become what you want to become. Last thing, she said all of us, every single human being, is perfectly designed to get the results we're currently getting. Do you want different results? Then you have to change your design. We have to change. As Becca Tinter said, and I mentioned at the beginning, we have to change our DNA. Not just the way that we act, but the way that we think, so that over time, responding differently becomes a habit and then a lifestyle. So that in 5, 10 years, we won't even have that thought anymore because we've responded in a systematic, thoughtful, meaningful, mindful way for so long. All of us need to change this. I am not who I want to be. And while I was there, I listened, and I shared this at our team night, just real briefly. I listened to an award ceremony talk by Matthew McConaughey. And he had a mentor come to him when he was 15 years old and said, "Who is your hero?" And he said, "I am my hero. Me in 10 years, when I'm 25, and I've become the man." This goes to Dan Bell's peak to peak. When I'm 25, I want to be at this peak. And then when I'm at that peak, it will give me a peak at another peak. So every single 10 years, Matthew McConaughey is like, I'm not my hero. My hero is what I'm going to become in 10 years. Be in the chase. He said, constantly know what you want to become 1 year, 5 years, 10 years from now, and constantly every single day be chasing that person that you want to become. Optavia is not just about feelings. Optavia is about what Jen Oxford said. It's about helping people become the best version of themselves and being helped by others to become the best version of ourselves. I'm becoming the best version of myself because of all of you. Because you guys are there to support me, and you give me the opportunity to support you. Kathy Pollard, do the work. I love it. That's a great way to finish. Go out and end these next couple days of this month strong. Start talking to people right now about convention next year. Let's have 1,000 people from our team, from your team, at next year's convention in Atlanta. Go get registered, make the commitments, make the decisions, reach out to your business coaches. Start making a plan today. Don't wait for 3 weeks until you've got a month left in August. Make your plan for August right now while you're still working to finish out this month. We love you guys. We appreciate everything that you guys do. You inspire us every single day. And you guys are all the reason that we wake up passionately every single morning to live the life that we have. So thank you. We'll see you soon.